Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Kylie and today I'm having spicy rice cake. So grab your spoons, grab your forks, and grab your chopsticks and let's eat together. Okay, today I want to talk about the series Dead to Me with Christina Applegate on Netflix. We haven't finished it. We are at the beginning of season 2, but I highly recommend it because it's super good and I love Christina Applegate's character because she's super cynical, and I don't know if everybody who watches it gets the little like quirks and like characteristics or traits that she portrays as her character on screen, but like there's the little things that you don't even notice that's like so funny and just comical about her character, and she does such a great job of portraying that character. So today I have my husband here and he doesn't want to be on screen, but he will talk about the series with me and we'll go over some things as to why we think it's a good recommendation for you to watch.
Don't forget to mention Will Ferrell as an executive producer.
Will Ferrell is a producer, and we were surprised to see that because he's typically the one that's on screen and not behind the screens, but you can kind of see the humor of his typical character that's built into the series. And I think Christina Applegate does a great job of portraying that type of like comedic relief.
She has good on-screen
presence,
and the I'm trying to say the camaraderie she has with her co-star is really good. They do really
I think a lot of acting is like how you play off of somebody else's reaction, and hers, and I don't know her real name.
Linda.
Oh, okay. I think they have such good chemistry that they just like are hilarious together. They just play off of each other's emotions and reactions. And I'm sure a lot of it is impromptu, like some of the funny stuff. And they just do a great job of just feeding off of each other. And I don't know that you can get that anywhere else, like other than just being totally authentic. And those two together are just, they make the series so much better than what it should be.
I like how every episode has something interesting or not expected that happens. It doesn't drag on. You have to wait 2 or 3 episodes for something to happen.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? Ozark. Because like there are series that you watch that you're like, oh yeah, like this is what you think is going to happen, and it's totally predictable, and then it does happen, right? But in Ozark and Dead to Me, it's totally unpredictable. Like everything you think is going to happen doesn't happen, and everything that's unpredictable happens, which I think is like the trending thing for like series right now, just because a lot of the times series gets certain like hit series, they tend to become old because they become predictable, right? So like now is the trend where it's like things are unpredictable, like things you naturally think are going to happen or progress don't happen in these series. Like they just go left and they go beyond what you even think is possible, and it just makes it so much better.
It's kind of the premise of the show. It's kind of like they did a good job with not taking it where it's expected just by the name of the show. You would think that what can they really do to build on that or to keep you interested?
But it's not like it's unrealistic, because at the same time, It's unpredictable, but don't think it's unrealistic, because it's totally realistic. I was joking with my husband earlier, saying like Christina Applegate's character is like me in 10 years.
It is. It is. Yes, it is.
Which is funny, but then like
We'll come back in 5 years and 10 years and do an update on this, and people will see that it's you.
because she's like cynical and like hates people, but then like, and is an introvert, but like at the same time does experience like human emotions and like goes through all the like wheels of emotions that like a typical human would go through. But has like complete dark humor about it.
And when it comes to animals,
But she's like a lover of animals and like
yep.
my poor kids. Oh, by the way, my parents were visiting, right? I told you guys that last time. And they did us a huge favor and took the kids to Michigan so they could spend time with them and give us, you know, a well-needed break and time to work and get things done. So if you notice how quiet it is, there's nobody jumping up and down upstairs. That's why. So I'm going to try to put out as many videos as I can within the next few days here, and I hope that you guys enjoy it.
And no, I won't be here to bother you in the rest of the videos.
It's gonna be this big face reveal. Everybody's so enticed by people who are on videos that don't reveal their faces. I don't know what it is. Maybe just the mystery behind the voice. Which is maybe why the voice has gone on way too long.
I didn't even know it was still on.
Anyway, without giving away the juicy details, how would you give like a synopsis of Dead to Me?
I would say it starts off intriguing and only builds from there. And even after how many episodes now? 12 episodes we've watched, I think. It still keeps you pulled in watching.
So essentially, it's about like your typical housewife in Southern California, Orange County, and her husband was killed by a hit and run.
It's hard to tell though because you can't.
So she like goes to this grief counseling and like develops a friendship with another woman who is also in grief counseling and just tries to, you know, navigate through her new normal with her 2 kids and realizing that like her husband is gone. And I won't spoil it, but it's just, she goes through like all these types of adventures and like, I guess, yeah, trying to figure out who killed her husband and just follows different trails and it leads her to just find different things and it just totally goes in a direction where you don't expect it to. And it's wild. I mean.
And I think her personality and her temperament and the person she really is becomes compounded by the person who she was before it all began.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's so true, like in the series, she says like grief does weird things to you, which like in real life it actually does, you know? I mean, it could literally drive you insane, and like everybody grieves differently. So I think it just depends on like who that person was to you, what they meant to you, and like what kind of closure you encounter in accepting their death. So it's like, not everybody has experienced death, but I think eventually in life, as you get older, somebody will always experience some type of loss or death, which is like the same as grief in a way. You don't have to actually like have somebody die in your life to experience grief. You could lose somebody. They could very well be alive but not be active in your life. So it just kind of explores that realm where you don't really realize your emotions could take you. Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody really knows what you'll be like or behave like until you experience grief. And no matter like what you say or how close you are to somebody that experiences that type of grief, like you think you understand, you will never understand until you experience it yourself and know what kind of like crazy or madness it'll drive you to in order to find some type of closure. Which I don't know if you do ever find closure. Some people just you just learn to live with grief. And I don't know that you ever find like the end or the light out of the tunnel of grief. You just kind of learn to deal with it and then re-navigate that energy into a different source, depending on which grief you experience, right? Like how close you are to somebody or vice versa, how unclose you are to them, but then how much of an effect you had on their life. It's strange to think about because like my brother and my sister-in-law recently had to put their dog down, so that was super sad. But I mean, it's just, and I hate to say it because it's so cliche, like it's just the circle of life, and nobody wants to hear that, which I never said that to them, but unfortunately it's just a terrible aspect of life. But I guess the sooner you can come to face the fact that it happens, I think the closer you become to learning how to live with it, I guess. But grief does different things to different people, and you never know. But I like that the series isn't all serious, and it has like some type of hidden dark humor to it. Maybe it's just my personality, but
no, it is. It's good at
I find that it's
trying to keep
a relief.
Light. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Tries to keep it light while she's going through the process of trying to figure out the who, what, when, where, and how of the situation.
Which becomes totally relatable, whether you think it is now in like your present life and like the events that are going on in your life right now versus later. I think eventually, no matter what stage you are in your life, you'll eventually find the series super relatable. My mom took all the hot dogs for my son, so I had put pepperoni in here.
Awesome. I didn't know that was your secret ingredient.
Also, our dog is here wondering, like, what happened.
Yeah. She doesn't know whether to relax or if something's wrong.
Poor goose. I wonder what dogs think, like, when they experience grief, or like what kind of emotions they go through. Because I've seen a lot of rescue groups where they rescue dogs that come from situations where their owners have passed away or whatnot, and I just wonder what they experience, if they know what they're going through, or just what they experience. It just totally makes you wonder, like, what kind of emotions and feelings that animals have that we don't further understand just because they can't communicate it. But also, one of the major reasons why I like my dog is because she can't talk. Okay. Don't crucify me. I love animals. There's a part in the series where, like, Christina Applegate's character, her son thinks that her husband is reincarnated into a bird, which visits him in his window, like, every day. And one morning he wakes up and he's like, Mom, Dad didn't come visit me today. and she was like, oh, it's okay. I'm sure he's just busy being a bird. Which is, like, really funny and probably something I would say.
Yeah.
Not to be insensitive, but I just like to be blunt and honest.
Yeah, you have to be.
I don't know that, like, beating around the bush or, like, shielding somebody from some type of, like, realistic human emotion is the way to go, just because you are sheltering them so much that they almost don't develop emotional intelligence. I mean, like, when you actually learn to feel emotions that are meant for you to feel, you'll never truly understand how to navigate life. I mean, everything that you do and every instance that you go through is learning how to navigate emotions, right? You're always either having to contain your anger or just really figure out what it is you're feeling. And I feel like in institutions like education, we're not being taught enough to express our emotions and really just identify what we're feeling. We're just taught to suppress it, and that's probably what activates psychopathy. Like, I think in an instance, you don't learn how to manage your emotions enough that they bottle up and they eventually explode, and then, I don't know, you do something irrational that you probably wouldn't have done if you knew what you were feeling and how to express it and how to just let it go, right? Some emotions you're supposed to feel and release, and some emotions you can hang on to and learn from. I mean, what do you think? It's hard because our society teaches us a lot to, like, suppress a lot of the things we're supposed to feel, but why would we feel them if we weren't supposed to truly feel them?
Right. Human beings are emotional beings.
What's that one meme? Like, we're basically just a more complex houseplant that has emotions.
I can see that.
Okay, I'm gonna finish this last rice cake. We took a long trip to Atlanta the other day. It was supposed to be my brother and I, but then my mom and my daughter decided to go along, and, like, an hour into the trip, they were like, are we there yet? It was so difficult. My brother and I were like, why did you guys even come? Like, we could have just listened to Tom Petty the whole way, we would have been fine. Here you guys are complaining about being here, and we didn't even get to hit up the pho spots and stuff that we wanted to because my mom didn't want to go in, and she didn't want my daughter to go in, and it was a fun trip overall. No, but driving through Tennessee, it's so beautiful, especially going through Chattanooga. You hit these like spots that are like hilly, mountainous, and then like there's like random little lakes and stuff. So I don't know. We haven't lived in Tennessee that long, but I think it's really beautiful, especially with the Appalachian going through it and stuff. It really lives up to everyone saying how beautiful it is. Done. I hope you go on Netflix and check out Dead to Me. Give this video a thumbs up if you really liked it. Click on that subscribe button for my next video, and until then, see you later.